What's up, everybody? It's the Bipolar Prophet, and welcome back to Old Ridge Farm in Farming Simulator 15. So, as you can see, we've started groundwork. It's still pretty late winter, not quite spring yet, but you know me, I get a little antsy around this time. The days are starting to get a little longer. It's starting to get a little brighter out, you know. And Perry has driven into a trade. Go figure. Well, I'm gonna let him figure that out. We've spread some lime on a couple of fields that needed it. We're plowing those in. The home fields are already done. I did that off screen. Whoops. Really? Thank you. Player camera. Can we get back to the default view? Thank you. As you can see, these are all set. One thing that I noticed after walking the fields about a week ago and collecting my soil samples and having a good look and a good sniff at the ground, you know, my nitrogen levels are really high. As you can see right here, it's 11 times. You know, I sent off all soil samples from all the fields, from various parts of the field, to Nick Crisford, who's my seed rep. He ran it through his, you know, with his team and his analyzation programs and everything, and told me that I really shouldn't add any more nitrogen. Normally, as you guys probably know, the first thing I do is just go out and spread manure on all my fields, right? Plow it in and go to work. But I didn't want to do that this time because my nitrogen levels are still pretty high, mostly because I had cover crops on all these, you know. I'm probably going about it wrong. Putting a cover crop and then putting manure on, it's kind of redundant, and it kind of defeats the purpose of having a cover crop in the first place. So as much whining as I did about having, you know, not enough manure, apparently I'm going to have enough. Also, we've reached our target goal of 150 dairy cows. I've actually sold off 5 of my older cows, so you know, we're now in the process of balancing the herd, keeping it, you know, trying to keep it as young as possible. Every time a new calf comes up to mature, you know, to milking age, we'll sell off an older cow. Also, I have a couple of new additions to the farm, as you would expect. You know me, right? Make a little money and spend it right away. One of them is this. We got a new slurry tanker. You guys may remember the Kawiko twin shift that I picked up towards the end of last year. That thing had some issues, you know. In the beginning, I thought it was just a relay that you know, sort of tied into the tractor's engine management computer, you know, to tell it what speed it wanted to run at for a specific flow rate and everything. That was obviously gone because the tractor was kind of locked at 10 miles an hour whenever this thing was hooked up. But there was also some other problems that Chad and his service team discovered when I brought it over to have them look at it. There was a couple of bent axles on it, believe it or not. You know, obviously that thing is designed to spread the tires out, you know, to reduce soil compaction, reduce, you know, impact on grass and things like that. And there was the swing axle, well, not the swing axle, but the stub axle that actually slides out from the main axle so that the outside wheels can expand out, was bent, which was causing it to stick. And I wondered sometimes, you know, as you pull the wheels back in, it would sort of jump around. And that's what was causing it. It was actually causing it to stick, putting a big strain on the hydraulic system. Also, the chassis, the actual frame of the trailer where the slurry barrel attaches to, was cracked in a couple of places. You know, now to be honest, that thing didn't look that bad when I bought it. You know, and Chad is very fastidious about going through used equipment. You know, having his tech team go through it and run through every bit of it, make sure it all works. But I was like, you know, as soon as he got that, I was like, oh, I need it, I'll take it. You know, and it was my fault that I sort of rushed him through the process. So the ultimate result of that was that we decided that it would be a better idea if, you know, he got me another one, and he got me this one. It's an Arindio. I believe this is Italian. Again, it's used. You know, it's got some contractor decals on it, which I haven't had a chance to remove yet or anything. He did go through this one, you know, stem to stern. This one works fine. The only issue I'm running into so far, and he wouldn't have noticed this, is that I seem to have the pipe here, the refill pipe, you know, so that you can stick it directly into a slurry pit or into an outlet, you know, of a slurry, underground slurry tank. Apparently there's a valve in there that's a little weak because when I park this tends to swing out, you know, gravity tends to swing it out. There's balls inside these valves that stop the hydraulic fluid from going back into the system, you know. Could be a bad ball, could be a bad seal. It's not that big of a deal. It's not leaking or anything, so I'm not really all that worried about it. Other than that, it works great. One cool thing about this thing is, if we go around the back here, is that, well, besides the fact that it currently has an implement on it, because I wanted to test that out, that's basically just a plow, although in the game it's a cultivator, that injects the slurry directly into the ground. But it has these spreader bars, which means you don't have to splash plate spray, and I don't have to have the swing arms and all that. This takes up a lot less room, and it works really well. It puts the slurry directly on the ground. There's not a lot of splashing. There's not a lot of odor. You know what I mean? And it works really well. And in fact, while Perry's over here plowing field 10, as you can see, turning in the lime, we're going to have to come over here with a cultivator, which is the other thing that I wanted to show you, actually. So if we run back to the main farm here real quick, we'll cut through the hedge. Can we jump the hedge? Jump it! Jump it! Nope, not quite. Too old to be jumping. So yeah, the home fields are pretty much ready to go. I'm not going to plant just yet. It's a little early to plant. Plus, I have figured out a rotation and a schedule on when I should be planting stuff. So, I want to follow that. So we're not going to be planting on the home fields just yet. The home fields will have barley on them, as per my rotation. So, I discovered that I didn't have the right cultivator to do the job that I needed to do with it. So, hold on, guys. I'll be right back. Sorry about this. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Dog was freaking out. YouTuber problems, right? You never know what's going to happen in a BP video behind the scenes. So anyway, I realized that I had the wrong sort of cultivator to do what I needed it to do. It was fine to rip. It was fine to just, turn in stubble and stuff. But it wasn't really designed to break up the big clods that you get and to break up the, the hard soil that you get from plowing. So I had to go out and visit Chad, who was more than happy to find me a cultivator. This is a Great Plains Simba. It's a new one. I figured, I'm not going to mess around. Let me just buy a brand new one. It was money, but you know what? We're getting to that point where I'm going to need this stuff. I wasn't really thinking about the fact that I was going to need, multiple different kinds of sort of soil implements. You know what I mean? This one is perfect for, for turning the stubble in. It'll also, because it's got the big legs on it, it'll break up the clods after plowing, and it makes a pretty good seed bed, although I'm probably not going to use it just for that. So that's another purchase that we bought. Also, you may see over there the Maz truck. Now, I know you guys were all curious because I sort of teased you with my HGV test video. Did BP pass? Yes. Yes, he did. Now, you probably saw that I got ticked for a couple of things. One, for not signaling when I pulled out of the yard there. Another time for taking up too much of the lane, which wasn't a big deal. The inspector told me that I need to be a little more careful with that. To be honest, I drive a lot in the UK, but because I drive tractors mostly, or my Unimog, where the steering wheel is on, the left side of the vehicle, which is the correct side for me, when I get in a right drive vehicle, I tend to get a little screwed up, and I tend to want to be too far over to the left. So I got ticked for that. The rotary, the roundabout, those things always mess me up. Stuart Bates, yes, you're absolutely right. I was in the wrong lane, but for the game, to sort of step out of character for a minute, for the game doesn't really follow, the road laws so much, you know what I mean? It just follows a spline that's built into the map that tells it where to go. So I really had no choice but to be in that lane. But you are right, I should have been in the other lane to make that turn. But, the inspector said, hey, you know what, you did a good job. A couple of minor things. Nothing major enough. I didn't wreck. I didn't crash. I didn't screw up the backup. I didn't mess up the walk around. I wasn't unsafe on the highway or anything like that. So he said, you know what? He says, you've passed. I now have a British HGV license. I can drive my own truck. Mirrorman, thank you very much for the offer of driving my truck for me if I needed to. I really appreciate that. But now I won't need to, so at least I'll be able to drive my own, which is great. And I also want to wish Kylie good luck, too, because her test is coming up as well. She, as you guys probably know, had to take the whole course. Whereas I only had to take the familiarization course, but I passed. I'm very happy about that. Anyway, so a couple of new additions to the farm, as you would expect. Some addition of some lag, as you would expect as well. Sun's getting ready to come all the way up now and everything, and it's just lag. I'm getting to the point now where yes, it's there's not much I can do about it, but God, I need to build a new PC at some point pretty soon. Anyway, so let's see. So Perry is still plowing, obviously, doing a fine job, getting stuck on every tree, on the edge of this field, but he's figuring it out. Phil is somewhere here. Obviously, it's all hands on deck now, for this kind of operation. So let's see. Where's Phil? Phil, where are you? Phil's over here power harrowing field 1 because this will be the first field that gets planted. Pretty quickly too. I need to break this up. We're going to power harrow it. We're going to, you can see the nutrient levels are really good. We're going to power harrow it. Probably go over here with the Simba, get a good seed bed on it, and then plant some soybeans. Now, I've been doing some research about soybeans. Apparently, soybeans are not allowed to be grown for consumption or production in the UK because they're a GMO, a genetically modified organism. Now, without going too much into that, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to grow soybeans for seed to be exported to other countries. That's what I'm going to do. I put in a new silo down at the DeKalb facility, Soya UK, a company I found on the internet that deals with that sort of thing. Just to add a little bit more realism to the map, I guess, you know what I mean? But soybeans are going to be the first thing that are going to go in the ground over here. I do have a crop rotation, but I wanted to get these fields done. They all need to be power harrowed because they've been sitting all winter, and they're hard and everything. They need to be broken up. So that's what Phil is doing, and doing a fine job of it. We are going to go spread some slurry on our meadows, even though they don't necessarily need it, but I want to do it anyway. So, because you guys know how, sort of obsessed I am with meadows. So I just need to turn that up a little bit. And of course, my volume button, for some reason, is keyed to the same button that turns this on. I don't know why, but so anyway, might as well start up here. Let's turn all that off too so I can see what I'm doing. Might as well start up here on field 8, I guess, or Meadow 8. This is a nice tanker. It works good, it holds quite a bit, 26,000 liters, hence why I have to have the big case on it, because, the other ones will run it, obviously, but it's just easier to pull it with the bigger one, so. Normally, I like to have the big case plowing, but in this case, the Puma will definitely handle a plow, so I might as well let it work, I know, Perry, keep driving into trees. Keep driving into trees, my man. You'll figure it out, no worries. So it's good to finally be doing some groundwork. It's funny. You spend all winter taking care of your animals and getting some stuff done, around the farm, getting some maintenance. I had some sheds that were leaking that needed to be fixed, things like that. And then before you know it, before you even know it, it's time to start working the ground again. Spent a lot of time, between emails and phone calls and everything else with Nick, about soil conditions and things like that. So. Let's see, how are these doing? 6%, 4%, slight alkalinity. Oh no, there we go. It's settling out. So yeah, they could use some slurry. Why not? Now, Shift Z, right there we go. Lower the spreaders. I could probably turn the beacons off for now. And then this thing's got a lot of cool animations on it too. I'm sure you guys have seen this, but if you go down here and you look at that, see that valve right there where it says closed? If you hit X, it opens it up. Oh, nice and slow, as you would expect in real life, It's open now, and then you just turn it on. And it's got a little bit of an issue with, I'm going to slow down here. It's got a little bit of an issue with particle animations. I think it's a shader issue, but I'll probably try to fix that. But to be honest, it's not that big of a deal for me. And this thing is really cool, and I like it, and it works, so. Yeah, the end's a little fluctuaty around here. Fluctuaty, is that even a word, BP? Jesus. It's a little inconsistent, I guess, from spot to spot, so a little slurry probably wouldn't hurt. The PK is pretty good. The soil pH is all right. These meadows were limed and everything in the fall, so. Lag. I'm getting so much lag. I don't know, again, I have a lot of stuff going on right now. The lime texture, it creates some lag for me and whatnot, but you know what? I'm just tired of talking about lag. It is what it is. There's not a whole lot I can do about it, so. I could probably go a tad faster, though, huh? I have a feeling I'm putting down way more slurry, than I need to be putting down, so. You may remember my slurry management plan, which I am going to follow, It's not going to be so much of a big deal over here, except for on the very edges of the field. But I actually went out and measured that out, and that's actually more than 10 meters from that water course. Plus, there's a solid obstacle between me and the water. So, can manure or slurry run under that stone? Sure, I'm sure it could. But for the purposes of the law, I'm more than 10 meters away, and I've got a solid object between me and the water course, so I can go right up to the edge of the field, but I don't mow right up to the edge of the meadow anyway, so it's not really that big of a deal. Grass, as always, is a constant thing for me. It's always trying to make sure I have enough of it, trying to make sure I take care of it as well as I can. Luckily, as you guys know, we have the council meadows we can use now. I've been working really hard to get those back up. That's going to be a continuing process until they're at their maximum, sort of health, I guess, their maximum production state. So, this is the time of the year when you want to do this stuff. Before it starts to really warm up, before stuff starts to grow, you want to make sure it's where it needs to be able to take, to produce its maximum amount of whatever's on it. Luckily, these meadows aren't very big, and this thing holds quite a bit, so it's not, it's not too much of an issue. I think I can get through 2 meadows with this. I think I can actually do all 3 of my meadows with this rig, and then I have to go fill it up to do, the pig and beef meadow is a big meadow, and then the smaller one to the left of the pig and beef facility, that's half a barrel. So it's not too bad, all in all. I should probably be doing this in cab, but then I end up missing a bunch, so it's just easier for me to do it out of the cab. I want to thank every single one of you, too, while I'm doing this, while I'm thinking about it, for all the great comments and all the great feedback you left me on the 100th episode. I'm glad you guys enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun to make. It didn't turn out exactly the way I had planned, but unfortunately, sometimes BP's reach exceeds his grasp, to use an old saying. I really wanted to, I had a lot of ideas about that. Unfortunately, with my, resources, I could only do so much, but it was fun to make. It was fun to kind of include those real life clips, of me flying off and all that, and it was cool. And I'm glad you guys enjoyed that. It means a lot to me, again. And also something I wanted to say in that episode, but I had so much stuff going through my head about what I wanted to do with it and everything, I kind of forgot, was that without OEB modding, none of this would be possible. Obviously, they're the creators of the map. They're the people who put the map together. They're the people who brought it to us. Without them, there would be no Old Ridge Farm. There would be no, long-running Let's Play. There would be no role play. There would be no, what has become a community around Old Ridge. You know what I mean? And thank you so much to Enzo and David Oldfield and everybody. And I'm sorry I don't know everybody else's name in the team, but thank you to all of you guys. Without you guys, this would not happen. And of course, thank you to every single one of you too. Guys like Mike, guys like Sean, guys JD Vlogger, Ian Blake, Nick Crisford, Chad, all you guys who've been here since the beginning, who have come along and made this story what it is. Thank you so much. I say this all the time, and me and Enzo, you probably saw in the comments, went back and forth a little bit about, I had said that this is the best map ever made for Farming Simulator 15. I still believe that. I believe this might be the best map ever made for Farming Simulator, period. For one very simple reason. It feels like home, and it has felt like home since the minute I first set foot on this map. This map absolutely portrays what it's supposed to be, and for a simulation game, there is no higher praise than that. If you have the feel of what the area you're in is supposed to be, then the people who created the map have done their job, and OEB has absolutely done their job in this sense. So, okay, that's good. We can now get those up. Very good. Get the beacons on, because we're going to be going down the road. Not very far, but yeah, we used, I probably used more than I really needed to use there. I went around a couple places twice. I like to get the edges of the field a little better, than the middle, because the edges tend to not see as much love, as it were, so. But going to be a busy time here in Old Ridge. We don't have a lot of fields, but there's a lot of work to do with the field, so. My frame rates are just taking a hit. But they would, Course-play's running, the sun's coming up, I've got lime texture and plow texture and everything else working, so, oh well, it is what it is, so. That's why I thought it'd be a good idea for me to come over and, maybe do some slurrying, add some more textures, why not? Now, I have not tried to get in this opening with this big barrel yet, so hopefully I don't catch the inside of the fence on it. This does have steering axles, which is nice. Am I going to catch that fence? Nope, just going to miss it if I stay on this side of the path, though. There we go. There we go. I have been warned numerous times to not take down this brick fence. I would catch all kinds of hell if I did that. So, all right. Yeah, the end's pretty high here, but you know what? I don't mind. I don't mind really sort of jacking the end up over here. End is good for grass, so get those spread out, get them turned on, get some cruise control. Again, you know, these meadows are not gigantic by any means, so. One thing that's going to happen as soon as probably Perry is done over there on field 10 is I'm going to, and I may do this in the next episode actually, I'm going to go over and we're going to cut fields 5 and 6. We're going to cut them together and then split them apart again into a more convenient shape. Just because it's a, you know, field 6 is a weird shape and field 5 is very small. So it just makes sense to me to put them together, you know, and make them into a better shape for me to work so that you know, they're a little more efficient, I guess. But that'll probably be the next episode because we've already gone over 20 plus minutes on this episode. Again, I'm not really worried about that. You know, I do want to keep the episodes at a reasonable length, but I'm not so worried about it that I'm going to be like, oh, 20 minutes got to go right this second, right? It's farming. It takes a while, so. And obviously, there's going to be multiple episodes of you know, of groundwork and things like that. So, and other stuff has to happen in between. Obviously, animals need to be fed, and you know, I have a bunch of slaughter animals that need to be sold. So, I'm going to have to get on that at some point. Oh, I didn't mention the money. As you can probably see, we have $167,738, mostly all from the BGA. The BGA has, you know, pretty much loaded up now. You know, it's getting all its biomass digested, and it'll run for a few months like that, generating electricity. I will be putting some corn in the ground to replenish their supply. So. And I'm looking at field 12. I'm actually sort of in negotiations with the farm agent right now about field 12. It looks like we might be able to pick that up for a reasonable price. You guys may know, to jump out of character again for a minute, that I had to buy field 12 so that I could fertilize some of the meadows over there, you know, without getting the "you don't own this field" error. But I didn't want to do anything with it until I actually owned it, until I took the money out and everything. So probably in a couple episodes we'll be taking a look at that to see if that can be a reality or not. I hope so. Be nice to get another field. I like to buy a field every year. You know, luckily the BGA really supplemented my income this year, or my revenue, I should say, this year, because obviously the yields with the drought and everything weren't great. It seems like the drought now, although it's still we are still in drought conditions on this side of the valley. It is better because it has been raining all around us, you know, and the aquifers and everything, you know, the underground water level has increased quite a bit. So, as you guys know, we're allowed to water twice this year per crop, you know. So, and again, you know, that's a strategy thing, figuring out when the best way, when the best time to water is. I believe I'm going to stick to my strategy that I outlined in a previous episode, where I get, you know, crop in the ground, I get one stage of growth, I water, and then I monitor. And maybe do another watering towards the end, right? You know, right before the stuff is ready to harvest. That's my strategy going forward right now. That may change depending on the weather conditions. We'll see. Yep, I really like this thing. You know, aside from the weak valve there on the input pipe, you know, whatever. That's not a big deal. I can always run that up to Chad and have it fixed. You know, it doesn't leak or anything, so I'm not worried about that. It doesn't, you know, it's not stuck open. The blowback valve works. It doesn't let slurry go back down the pipe. So those are the only things I'd really worry about. You know, if I got to move it back into position, you know, every so often, that's okay. As long as I'm not driving it down the road and I catch a car with it, you know. All right, and that is that. Still got the pig and beef meadow, the storage meadow, and the right pig and beef meadow to do. I'll probably do those in the next episode while the rest of the groundwork is still going on. Shut that off. Get those folded up. Might as well turn the tractor off, I guess. Yep. Oh, I'm really glad this thing has a spreader. Now, I've left that implement on there. You know, again, I should have probably took it off, but it's not doing anything. It's not lowered or anything. And it throws down a little bit more slurry. So, but that's a nice barrel. I like it. It works good. A couple of small issues, but other than that, nothing major, and I certainly like it. So let's just go ahead and tab around here, see how everybody's doing. Again, for some reason, it's like the first time I play this game, it just doesn't like to tab. So, yep. All right, Perry, you're doing a fine job. Oh, I'll have to come over here with the Great Plains with the Simba and cultivate this afterwards. And then, probably just a front packer. I also picked up a front packer as well, just to get me the best seed bed I can while I'm seeding, and to cut down on some of the steps as well. So you're doing just fine. And Perry, Phil, you guys are twins. Even I confuse them sometimes. Yep, you're still doing good. So very, very good. Very good. Okay. Yep, you're on your headlands now. So awesome. Wow, that's really loud, huh? Let me just turn that down a little bit. Okay. Yep, he's doing the headlands now, so good deal, good deal. So there you go, guys. That's episode 1 of Groundwork. There are going to be quite a few more, obviously. The next episode, I want to be, we're going to finish slurrying the meadows, and hopefully we can plow this field together. I don't know. We'll see if that happens in the next episode or the episode after. But you know what? It's late winter. It's coming up to spring. The days are getting longer. It's getting brighter. It's getting a little warmer, and it's getting ready to be planting season, guys. I'm very excited. Hopefully this year on Old Ridge will be a great one. With the drought sort of, letting up now, and with us being able to water a little bit, everything should be good, and I really, really hope. And as always, guys, thank you so much for all your input on this farm, all your input on this Let's Play. You know what I mean? You guys know I need it. I love it. Again, I really believe this is a community thing now, and it's just awesome. And thank you so much. And as I always say, I will make videos of this for as long as you guys want to see them. 100 episodes, 200 episodes, whatever. Right? It's just too much fun to stop playing. Thank you for all the comments, for the likes, for the subscriptions. Welcome to all the new people to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for subscribing. I hope you like what you see, and I hope you hang out for a long time. Also, feel free to be interactive, to comment, to leave me stuff. Make sure you check me out on all the social media links, which are in the description of every video I put out. Keep your tips and suggestions and all that coming. You guys know I need that stuff. And thanks so much, guys, for making me a part of your YouTube day. And this is the Bipolar Prophet saying, see you later.